What's up, my brother?
Ain't nothing, man. I'm doing good, man. I hope you're safe down there, man. I hope you're good.
I'm good, brother. I can't complain. Hope the same for you and your family, man.
Yeah, yeah, man. Blessings, blessings indeed.
For sure, man. It's been a long time, my brother.
Yeah, yeah. I ain't seen you in a while, man. It's good to see you, man. You looking good, baby. Looking good.
Say to you, brother. Say to you, man. For sure,
All right.
man. Wow. I remember we was younger, man. We had a lot of fun in Brevoort, man. That's when I first met you guys, and we're gonna get into that, man. But
Yeah,
definitely good to see you, brother.
appreciate it, man. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, yeah. So what I like to ask most of my guests, just wait for some more people to get in the room. They all in here. Salute, salute, everybody.
Yes, sir.
I like to
Salute.
ask
Yes.
all my guests who introduced them to the game.
Um, my man Prentice Smith kind of introduced me to the game, man. This is back in the day. I was maybe 13, going on 14. My first love. A lot of people don't know. My first love was actually baseball. So I played little league in Tompkins Park. Got a lot of little big for the britches. So I had to try to figure out something else. So one day I was just walking by 256 Park, which is right across the street from Tompkins Park.
Right,
Prentice and a bunch of the older guys was playing in there. They saw me and my cousin walking by, and we were kind of tall for our age, so they asked us if we played basketball. I said not
right,
really. So he talked to me for a few minutes. Finally got me to come in the park. I played with some of the older heads, and I had played basketball in the past prior to that, but it wasn't really my thing. I just did it because people asked me to play. But this particular day, I don't know what happened. I just fell in love with the rock that day, and Prentice just kept telling me, he's like, "Yo, come back tomorrow, come back the next day." I played with him. These guys was like, 22, 23, 24, 25 years old. I'm 14 years old and I'm playing with these guys. So
right.
my development was a little quicker because I was out there every day. Every day they beat me up, sending me home bleeding at sometimes, but I kept coming back. And Prentice Smith, my man P, he was the guy that introduced me to basketball.
That's official, man. That's official. And it's crazy that you said that because when you say you was a baseball player and I reacted, um, Pat Alphonse started out playing soccer, right? He's a soccer dude. Then he transferred over to basketball. I was a football dude, and there was a couple other guys that were baseball dudes as well. Um, and then they got into basketball. So that's crazy that you said that.
Yeah.
I want to make an announcement. I know y'all don't see my guy here tonight because we usually have my guy Jamel Powell in the back during the pitches and stuff, and that's the one of Ray Haskins. But because of the curfew, right, can't have my man out like that. So,
No doubt, no doubt.
but we got you. He's definitely working on it right now as we speak.
I appreciate that, man. I appreciate it.
No, no doubt, no doubt. That's what we like to do, man. So who was your first coach?
My first coach was a guy. It was in high school. His name was Raul Arroyo.
Mm,
He was a guidance counselor, but he was also the basketball coach. And that was my first official coach to me playing basketball.
okay, all right. So you junior high school, no basketball, like you just played regularly, and then
I played in a couple of games that people asked me to play in some like charity games in the school to raise some money, and I played with the guys, but it wasn't really my thing.
right,
So I played off and on.
okay. At that time, who was the best player in your neighborhood?
Um, Best player in my neighborhood was probably Bugs, probably Booger.
Okay,
Probably in
okay.
my neighborhood. Yeah.
Official salute to my guy. Definitely gonna get you up on here, bro.
Yeah. What up, Stupid Face? Shout out to Stupid Face.
So he was one of the guys you came up with, right?
Yeah,
from the
yeah, I met
beginning.
Bugs. Yeah, actually, once again through Prentice. Prentice brought me over to the Kenny Kings.
Right,
I had heard about Bugs, but I never saw him play. He
right,
took Tonga's projects, and that's where I met, Kenny, Bugs, Mickey, Perry, all those guys, Mason, all those guys over there in Tompkins. And when I watched him play, I was like, yo, all I really got to do is just run and keep my eyes on him. And 9 times out of 10, I'm gonna get the ball because
right,
Bugs wasn't really in the back then. He wasn't in the scoring. He could score, but that wasn't his thing.
right.
He was a distributor. He was a distributor. And for a guy his size, pass the ball the way he did, to this day, I tell anybody that's the best point guard I ever played with.
Now, was he on that team with you guys when your guys played in Brevoort?
I think he played a couple of times. I don't think he played a lot. Maybe played a couple of
Right,
times.
right. Okay, yeah, because I remember that because later on I started to see him, but I knew he was always down with Kenny Kings.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So, I was told by my guy Pat, to ask you this, man, and I think it's very important, man. I heard your grandmother had a big role in your life.
Oh man, yeah. My grandparents, yeah. My grandmother, my grandfather, they pretty much raised me.
Okay,
It was my parents, they went through their issues. So for my grandmother, it wasn't no thing. Ever since I could remembering, my grandmother's been there.
mm,
So I always, even though, coming up in the hood, young black man, you're gonna have your issues.
that's right.
I never wanted, I never wanted to make my grandmother look bad out in the streets, whenever I was out there. So sports became something I could cling on to. Like I said, when I was playing Little League Baseball, they would come out there and watch me play, and watch me and my cousin play. They would support us, and whenever they could, they would come and watch us in the parks. She watched me when I played. They would come to Pratt when I was playing at Pratt. So my grandparents played a major part in who I am today, and I love them for it, and I always will. Just going to make sure I try to make them proud every time I attempt to do anything.
Right. Well, they did a great job, man, because every time that I ran into you, whether it's, before or after the game, you was always solid, brother. You was always solid, 10 toes down.
I
So
appreciate
salute
it,
to
man.
your grandparents, man. Yeah.
Like, yep, Clifton and Sarah Qualls.
All
That's right.
right.
So, yeah, sure.
So what high school did you go to?
I went to Telecommunications, Arts and Technology out in Bay Ridge. It was originally Bay Ridge High School. It was an all-girls school. It was
Okay.
shut down, open, and went co-ed. And at the time, I was supposed to go to my zone school, which was Thomas Jefferson. And Thomas Jefferson was the worst school in the city at the time. Yeah. I
Facts.
wasn't
During
happy
that
with that.
time? Yeah.
Yeah. Thomas Jefferson was crazy. So, my mother didn't want to do that. I was acting up a little bit. This school came into play. So, she gave me a choice. She was like, either go to this school or go to military school. So, I ended up going to that school out there. And, I had a few good years out there,
Cool. And then, would you consider yourself like a late bloomer?
Definitely. I was definitely a late bloomer. Yes, sir. Yeah, because I didn't really pick up the rock, like I said, till I was about 14, 15 years old, seriously. And playing with the old heads, playing with the OGs, getting thrown right in the fire.
That's right.
On the job training is basically what it was. So I developed quicker, and I was already athletic, so that
Right.
helped.
Okay. So how did you guys do and during your high school years?
Not very well. We didn't do too good.
Okay,
We had a lot of
okay.
play. We had a lot of guys that could play, but once again, not being focused on the team, off the team, on the team, off the team. You know, I had my issues in high school, but we had some guys with some talent. We just all couldn't get on the team at the same time because one guy wouldn't be on, then a couple others would be on. So, but we had some good games and we had some bad games.
Right, right. Well, listen, that even going through that rough patch, that still didn't define you as a player because you still have more to prove.
Oh, indeed. It never, the fact that, we may not have done as well as we wanted to in high school. Shout out to telecommunications, by the way. Didn't matter. Didn't matter because I knew I was young. I knew I had room to grow. I knew I had time to grow. So, patience is a virtue. And, I happened to bump into somebody that really had a major impact on my development in terms of basketball, developing my talent
Right,
and skill.
right.
And that's when I got to, I really got to blossom.
Okay. So during this time, right, high school's not faring too well, and you guys are having a lot of success with Kenny Kings. Tell me how that, how that shaped you.
Playing with the Kenny Kings, I got to play with a lot of great talent. Lamont Jones, his brother CJ, like I said, Booger, a lot of neighborhood guys that were excellent. My boy Mickey, Perry, Mason, Big Cav, Little Cav that went to Christ the King, my boy Leonard, Stitch, all my boys from the courtyard. I played with a lot of real good talent. So if I wanted to claim a stake on that team, I had to step up. Otherwise,
Right.
Kenny would have gave me the light of day. So the fact that Prentice brought me to him, Kenny already figured out I might have a little bit of talent, but I had to prove it to him.
Right.
Serious Styles, what up? That's one of my
My
assistant coaches.
God.
That's one of my assistant coaches from when I was at Pratt.
Okay, okay. That's my God.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no
we
doubt.
go back. We go back. Yeah, so what was your experience like playing in the Sonny Lewis tournament in Brevoort?
Oh, man.
Was that like one of your first big tournaments that you played in?
Yeah, Sonny Lewis was one of my first real big tournaments that I played in, man, because like I said, I was just playing locally and playing with the Kenny Kings. That allowed me to play in a lot more tournaments locally, uptown, because Kenny had us everywhere. He had us all over the
Right.
road.
Yep.
He had us all over. Had us so much that after one point we ended up with 2 teams.
Wow.
So, but playing in Sonny Lewis, it was like every game was almost a rivalry game.
Facts.
So the intensity was always there. Even though you might have loved other cats on the other team, when you stepped on that court, I got to bust your ass, or I'm gonna get my ass.
Facts.
And Sonny Lewis was the one place where you did not want to get exposed as a dude that couldn't play ball.
Right.
Because like in a lot of other places, when you get exposed as a guy that can't play ball, that travels.
Yep.
It travels. So that's not the reputation you want to develop.
Not at all.
That was one of my main focuses, and the fact that I got to play with all these great guys on Kenny Kings, like I said, it only sped up my development process.
Yeah, I remember you being just very physical.
Lewis, man. Rest in peace.
Oh, for sure. Salute Sonny Lewis. Definitely one of my mentors coming up.
Mm-hmm.
Always helped me out. Gave me some good advice. But during that time, I remember, you being solid, very physical, great rebounder. But it wasn't until I came back from school, right? And I just saw a different you. I was just like, yo, this guy ain't the same guy that I played against when I was younger. You
Yeah,
know?
that's
So tell me about that transition and you moving on to Pratt. How did you get to Pratt?
right. So I'm playing in the tournament at LG, and halftime. Actually, I think it was the end of the game. It was either halftime or end of the game. Older guy comes walking over to me. Not a tall guy, short guy walking over to me across the basketball court. So I see him coming towards me, but I'm not thinking he's coming towards me, so I'm not paying him any mind. I just think he's walking in my direction. So he comes and stops right in front of me, excuses himself, introduced himself. His name was Les Pilgrim. He asked me, he said, you in school right now? You going to college? I had did 1 year at Farmingdale and, just bugged out at Farmingdale, and that was the end of that. So I pretty much, in my mind, I was done with college.
Mm-hmm.
So he asked me if I was in school. I was like, no, I'm not in school. He's like, are you interested in going back to school? I was like, at this point right now, not really. So we talking for a little while. He told me he had watched my game, and he liked the way I played. And if he would give me a chance, he could help develop me, come over to Pratt, and in a couple of years, he would turn me into a pro. Now, turning me into a pro, that's what I heard. So I was like,
That was
really?
the ticket. Right.
Yeah. At that time, that's all I heard right there. So I said, really? I said, okay. So he was my assistant coach. He and Coach Marshall came to my house, spoke to my grandparents, and sat down and had a powwow. And from that meeting, I could tell that Pops, I call him Pops, I could tell that he was sincere about what he was talking about. Trust me with your grandson. I'll take care of him. And, during practice, he worked me out. He showed me how to use the backboard. He gave me my turnaround jump shot, how to use the bank shot. He helped me improve my dribble, my stamina, just everything. He smoothed me out because to know him, I was a diamond in the rough. He smoothed me out over the 2 years I played at Pratt. And then what up, Sparks on Demand? That's my godson right there. What up, young?
Okay.
Boy, what's up, baby? So after 2 years, he felt there was, at that point, there was really nothing else he could teach me. He thought I was ready. I was having, some issues academically also. So he said, I think you're ready to go overseas. And he got me my first job in Finland in '94. So Pops did a lot for me. He was my surrogate father. Even when I dropped off the face of the map, he made sure he kept in touch with me. Wherever I was at, he made sure.
Les was a great guy. Rest in peace to him.
Yeah. Indeed. And last week was the 1 year anniversary of his passing on the 26th last week.
Wow.
What up, Shane-O? Shane the Dribble just joined. What up, Shane-O?
What up, Shane? Second time back. He was on when I had Malloy on. My God.
Okay.
Need to get him on here too. Yeah, so when did you come into your own as a player? Do you think it was during your college years? Or a little bit after?
Yeah. I think it was, towards, maybe the end of my first year, beginning of my second year at Pratt. I started coming into my own. I was playing all over the place, and I play in one tournament, and somebody see me play and asked me to go play with him over there, and I was the type of guy I didn't care. You want me to play? Let's go. Where it's at.
Right.
I don't care who we playing against or where we playing at. Let's go. So I think that attitude helped me develop my reputation a lot quicker because I played everywhere from Bed-Stuy all the way up to the Bronx, and that's when Rucker came into play while I was in college, up at 55th.
Yep.
know, that came into play. So that also had a lot to do with my coming out as a player.
When did you know? When did you know you can dominate on a college level?
I would probably say my second or third game, maybe.
Mm.
My second or third game, because you know I was playing at Division III level. So
Right.
when you play at Division III level, a lot of people think, you know, you can't play. Other cats didn't want you. That's why you had to end up going there.
Right. Right.
So for that reason, I always played with a chip on my shoulder.
Mm.
And you know, a couple of our scrimmages were against some Division II teams, and I had excellent games against them. You know, so that right there let me know that if I could do this here, then as long as I stay focused and dedicated to my craft, I'll be all right.
And you still at that point where you figuring out you're getting better, but you still got more to prove. You got this chip in your shoulder. There's a lot of other big names, a lot of dudes who went to Division II, Division I, who get, all the praise.
It did, and
Right?
I wasn't even thinking about it as, you know, the other guys getting the praise. Why not me? I knew
Right.
where I was at on the totem pole. I
Right.
already knew these guys were all city and all these other accomplishments these dudes had. I knew that already. It didn't matter to me. My whole thing was just to let you know, regardless where you are or where I'm at, I could rock with you. If not, bust your ass. That
Okay.
was it. It had nothing to do with your accomplishments or the lack of my accomplishments. All I wanted to let you know was, hey, I could ball. That's it.
And up to this point, who are some of the guys that you played against? We're not moving on to the
Um,
later years. Later years, we're talking about from the time from high school up onto like college. Who are some of the guys that you're playing against on the college scene and in the summer leagues?
I was playing against, the guys like the Junior Sanders, rest in peace, Heck Rodriguez, um, the my OGs, the Scurry brothers, Carrie Scurry, Paul. I was playing against guys like that all over the place. I was going out
Mm.
playing in Wingate Park and Dunker's Delight with the Midnight Express. I was over there
Right.
playing in that tournament. I was playing everywhere. I played a couple of times at CYO. Man, I've forgotten more tournaments I've played in than I could remember. Because
Right.
like I
Right.
said,
Right.
I just wanted the ball. So I always wanted to play ball, and it didn't matter who I played against, even though I might have knew who it was. Didn't matter. The competition is what I love.
Do you think you started to get your reputation up at the Rucker or down in Brooklyn?
I think I started getting my reputation down in Brooklyn, from playing in, places like Kingston, Sonny Lewis, Soul in the Hole, places like that, Tompkins, Marcy, they had their tournaments, Tillery Park, places like that. That's where, my reputation started developing. And that's when CJ, finally brought me up to Rucker after playing with, Kenny Kings for a couple of years. He brought
Okay.
Mousy from Mousy's Dream Team down to Kingston to watch me play. And I had a great game. And, CJ told him, he's like, listen, I know you're looking for a big man. I don't know a big man, but I know a guy that plays like one. And he was talking about
Mm.
me.
Right. Right. Tell
So
the people how tall you are.
I'm only about 6'6", about 185, 190 on a good day.
And some of the guys you were guarding, what size were they?
6'8", 6'9", 230, 235, 225. That was just the nature of the beast.
And another question we always ask everyone: who ass did you bust that let you know you were ready?
I'm not gonna say it was somebody's whose ass I bust that let me know I was ready, but it was two guys who I went back and forth with that let me know I was ready. And that was Junie Sanders, the first guy to ever dunking on me.
Definitely. Somebody holler at Junie, tell him to holler at your boy. It's my guy.
GE, what up, boy? You know, Junie Sanders, and the other guy was, rest in peace, Conrad McRae.
Salute my guy. Another one of my dudes from back in the days. Good brother. Yeah, both of those guys, good brothers, man. Rest in peace, Conrad.
Those were the two guys that when I was able to go head to head with them down at BK, that let me know that I could be about something in basketball. You know, because like you said, off the court, great guys, love them to death. But on that court, they trying to take your head off.
That's right.
You understand? They trying to take your head off. You know? So the fact that I was able to match those guys' intensity on the court, let me know I was legit.
And they two different kind of games, right?
Totally different games.
Like if people really know basketball and really seen these guys play and know their reputations, their styles are totally different. And for you to be able to match up with both of them, right, on their levels, says a lot about you.
Indeed. I had to adapt because their games are totally on the opposite spectrum of each other. You know, McNasty was a down low monster rebounder. Anything within 6 feet of the rim, it's a dunk. You know, Junie was an outside assassin, but he can take you off the handle and he will fly nuts on your neck. you know.
For sure. So was there a particular tournament when you started to get a reputation? Was it like, okay, I arrived? Like, what tournament was that when you were playing with those guys?
Against Junie and Rad?
Right.
The tournament against Junie was a housing tournament at Bushwick. We used to play in the Bushwick 2 Center out there. You know, and that's when that was actually the first time I played against Junie because, you know, developing my reputation. Yo, Bear's gonna go against Junie next week. Everybody's waiting for that showdown. So I knew my reputation was growing. And my first time going against Conrad, I actually played against Conrad in high school when he was at Brooklyn Tech. I played against him there. But when I actually developed some skill, the first time I played against Rad was in the high energy tournament in Emerson Park. And
that's crazy.
That was a monster of a game that we had against each other. You know.
And I hope you guys are paying attention. You guys who say you good and you want to be good. I'm talking about you young guys, right? He was playing in a housing tournament, right? Against Junie, right? So that means you got to go everywhere and play. You just can't go to the top tournaments and, you know, and show your stuff. You got to go to the grit and grind and prove your game and your status from the bottom up. And so when I asked him that question, where did he develop his game, you know, uptown and the Rucker tournaments or Man-1, he was like, nah, I developed it in Brooklyn, right? Because I had to build a foundation where I'm from first.
Right.
And then I can go other places and then put my flag down there.
That was actually the formula. That was the actual blueprint right there.
And another thing you mentioned, and I mean to cut you off because I didn't want to lose this thought. Another thing you mentioned in your development was playing with the older guys, right? How important was that in your development? Playing with the older guys in the neighborhood.
Oh, that was huge, man. That was huge. That was a large part of where I got my toughness from. Because they didn't take it easy on me. They saw something in me at the time that I didn't see in myself. So they knew I guess they saw that they could push me and knew that I would be able to deal with it and come back stronger because of it. So a large majority of my toughness and my grittiness and my, never back down attitude comes from my OGs and how they treated me when I came in that park. And just to answer my man, David Foss, I think I played against Fort Hamilton one time, and we might have
I was just about to ask you
swept that game out.
Okay.
Oh, Gun Hill, definitely. I remember Gun Hill. Yeah, Gun Hill. Yes, sir.
For sure.
But yeah, man.
That's crazy, man.
I had to develop my reputation in Brooklyn, or I would have never got out of Brooklyn.
Right.
Because Brooklyn just, I don't know. It's a baller born every minute in Brooklyn, man.
Yeah.
So, if you could hold your own in Brooklyn, chances of being a decent basketball player are pretty good.
So I had this conversation with Future, and I was asking him why don't the guys from like Queens, Bronx, and Harlem come down to playing all the Brooklyn tournaments? And Shane said he came down to play, and Malloy said he came down to play. And then I asked Kenny as well, and Kenny was like, if it wasn't for Antoine Meriton bringing him down to Brooklyn, I don't think he would have been playing in Brooklyn and Dean Street, right? So what do you think is I don't know, the problem with some of the guys from other boroughs coming down to Brooklyn to play? Or do you see it?
Oh yeah, I definitely, I got my boys in Harlem, we talk about it all the time. But I don't know, there was just this mystique about Brooklyn at the time. If you come down there and play, if cats don't think you should go home, you're not gonna go home. Just to be nice about it.
Right.
But a lot of cats just wasn't rocking with Brooklyn like that. No, I'm not going down to play in Brooklyn. They be bugging down there.
Right.
Come on, man. Y'all bug. This cat's bugging out everywhere in New York City.
That's right. That's right.
This cat's bugging out everywhere.
But we would have to go play. We would have to go to these places and play.
We did.
Right.
We did. It wasn't no we would have had to. We did. We couldn't get the cats to come to us, so we had to go to them.
Facts.
And had no problem doing it.
Yeah, I was talking to Bud a while back, and we were just talking, and he brought that up, and I never thought about that, and as I started to think, I was like, wow, coming up, I don't remember a lot of guys from Uptown and Queens coming to Brooklyn to play.
Nah, my man Big Tone Greer came down. Even Main Event came across the water from Jersey and played in Solar Hole a couple of times. Ali Mo, rest in peace, Ali Mo. He came down and played in a hole. Future played a game in a hole when Mousy brought him down there. But there was just this mystique about Brooklyn that cats stayed away from if they wasn't from the borough. And the funny thing about that is I got a lot of homies, Uptown, Bronx, and the thing about that is, what's funny about that is a lot of people in Brooklyn don't really know a lot about the Uptown and Bronx legends, but the Uptown and Bronx legends know about all the Brooklyn legends.
Right.
And in Queens.
Yeah, that's why I want to definitely spread my way around to those guys. I put up the other day Richie Adams.
Street. Yes, the animal.
Yo, my guy, and
yeah,
we want to make sure, we have a platform, for those guys, so people don't forget, right? So what do you think the state of New York basketball is in right now, minus the coronavirus?
right now, New York basketball is unstable to me, man. We're not in a good state. We're not in a good state right now because maybe the past decade, if not more, a lot of our talent has been being outsourced.
Yes.
You know, kids going to prep school out of town. You know, they going to live with somebody in another state when they 9, 10 years old, so they can go to a school down there that's a basketball powerhouse.
Right.
These kids are leaving New York at an early age. You know, and the kids that are trying to learn up here are not really that focused on the game. Like we were talking about earlier with the young guys. A lot of these young guys, they'll come out, play 2 or 3 games, maybe have 2 good games out of the 3, and they think they're nice now, so they don't have to go anywhere else and play.
Yeah.
When in our day, it was a level of consistency we had to keep.
That's right.
Okay, you killed over here. Let me see you kill over there. Okay, let me see you kill over there. Okay, you killed in all these places this year. Let me see you do it again next year. You know, that's
right.
what it was for our era.
No, that's real. That's real.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
There was a level of consistency we had to keep. We couldn't just come and be a flash in the pan and then be gone. And the next time we show up a month later, you think you still want to get the same love? Nah. Where was you at? We done totally forgot about you now.
Because somebody else is on the scene.
Somebody else done filled your shoes already. And he gonna kill you. He ain't gonna let you take that spot back. No, sir.
Yeah.
So whatever spot you got, you had to work even harder to keep it.
So you have that going on, right? And now you have AAU, right? And we always had AAU, but it's like AAU on steroids right now.
Right.
Do you think AAU is really helping the majority of our kids?
The majority, I would say no. Some, yes. Because what I mean by that is a lot of these kids will jump on a bandwagon in terms of joining a powerhouse AAU team. And a lot of these cats don't even realize that slows up their development. Because now you at the bottom of the totem pole and you have to wait your chance. And with a lot of the mind state of a lot of these kids right now, they don't have the fortitude to hang in there and fight and take it to the next level and let somebody know that I might be behind you, but you feel me coming. They want instant gratification. You see me killing practice, I should be starting.
Yeah.
One has nothing to do with the other. You know, so it's the AAU helps some, but it hurts more, in my opinion.
Did you play AAU?
No, I didn't.
Look, it was a lot of guys that, you know, play AAU, went to All-American camps, played at the big schools, and people don't really know their name. Right? And maybe they're successful in other areas.
Right.
So I know you definitely don't have to go one way to make it. But in basketball, I agree with you when you're saying you have to be consistent, because at least your name stays and your reputation is intact when you're ready to walk away.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. You know, like you said, when we first started playing against each other, you remember me for being a rebounder, a decent rebounder. You know, and that was one of the things I took pride in to this day.
Right.
You know, in terms of being a rebounder. You know, the physicality is one of the things I always loved about basketball, because it was an athletic physicality. It wasn't just bruising, and I mean, it got like that at times. It got like that at times, but it was more so a graceful physicality.
Yes.
In terms of playing basketball, when you playing against guys that really know how to play the game.
Yes.
You know?
And I always took pride in, you know, being able to spot talent. Even when I was younger, I had to do that against guys who I was playing against. And I think it was down at either West 4th or Soul in the Hole. When we had played against each other, I think it's Soul in the Hole. And I, you know, I just saw vast improvements in your game. You know? So when I tell kids, listen, life is not a microwave. You can't get things like that all the time. You know?
Right.
You got to be able to develop and go to stages. And that's in life in general, right? So these lessons hopefully will be important for them so they can, you know, write in their notes and let them know that the progress is important.
Yeah,
The willingness to
I hope so,
always
man.
want to improve. No, because you're definitely an example of that, right?
Appreciate it.
I think a couple of months ago I put out an article, a slam article with Stephon and
Hi,
Bashi.
AJ.
What up?
My son messing with me right now. He just jumped in and he
Oh
just messing
man,
with
what's going on? What's going on, AJ? All right.
me.
So I was looking at this article from Slam, and it had the top 60 hoopers that come out of New York City. And I was basically looking at the cover picture because it had Bashi and Steph. Had Bashi when he was younger and Steph, right? When he was a little bit older.
Right.
And I remember Steph being that Bashi age coming around Lincoln all the time, right? And, you know, you're just seeing the progress of New York basketball and how far it's come. And then I'm scrolling down and I'm seeing names like Lou Alcindor, Rayford Alston, Kenny Anderson, Cole Anthony, who I think is a little bit too early, but okay. Tiny Archibald, Ron Artest, Andre Barrett, Walter Berry, Roger Brown. Roger Brown was great. Roger Brown was one of the great basketball players to come out of New York City. Steve Burt, Billy Cunningham.
All day, Steve Burt.
All day. That's right. Got to get him up here as well. My guy, my dude, Lloyd Daniels.
Sweet P, yes, sir.
Oh, for sure. Oh, for sure. And hopefully, if things work out and everything, you know, goes to plan, he'll be here Sunday. All right?
Okay.
Yeah, for sure. Spoke to my guy. Then you got, you know, Tyron, Ali Mo, Evans, Lloyd B. Free. Definitely one of my heroes growing up. Sidney Green. Yo, he was a killer in Jeff. Yo.
Yes.
Sid Green was a killer at Jeff. Joe Hammond, right? Who gave it to Dr. J. Yeah, I think he gave Dr. J like 46 and a half one time.
And a half.
Yeah, man. Connie Hawkins, right? Connie Hawkins was like the first guy, and Roger Brown were like the first guys to like set Brooklyn off. Like these guys were like the blueprint to it all when it comes to black guys playing basketball in Brooklyn at a high level.
Indeed.
You know? And then right under that is Anthony, half man, half amazing Heyward. And I'm sitting with a big ass picture. Now before that, you know, you got Sid Green, Joe Hammond, Connie Hawkins.
Yes,
and it's a huge picture of you there, my brother. Like, when you saw that, how did that make you feel, bro?
It's to be, you know, I'm going to sound like a bit of a cliche, but it's the truth. You know, to be considered in the same group with some of those guys or all those guys that you just mentioned.
Right.
You know, it just legitimizes to me what happens when you work hard and always bet on yourself when it comes down to it. You know, because a lot of these guys I've played with and against, a lot of these guys I've watched, you know, to this day, you know, I still see Joe Hammond. Well, prior to the pandemic, Joe Hammond used to come and watch us play on Sundays in the 40 and overs up in Harlem. So I see these legends. I see these legends all the time. And they talk to me, you know, early in my summer league years, when they saw me play, a lot of these guys used to talk to me and let me know that they liked my game. And that meant something to me, coming from legends like that. You know, Joe Hammond telling me that he liked the way I play. He don't have to do that.
That's right.
You know, Pee Wee Kirkland letting me know that he likes my style of play. He don't have to do that. But he took the few minutes out of his day to let me know that he see me. He recognized me. And for legends like that to let me know that, you know, it just, you know, I can't really put it into words how it makes me feel. But, you know, I'm humble for it. I'm grateful for it. And it just, man, that's all I can say, man. I appreciate that. I appreciate everything.
Wow. Brooklyn Soul, I know you had a question. Who are the 3 best players you played against?
The 3 best players
What up, Chuck?
Played against. Chuck, what up, baby, down in Florida? What up, Chuck?
Yeah, that's my guy.
Yeah, that's my man right there. One of the smoothest cats on the court.
That's right. We went to Lincoln together. That's my dude.
Yeah, let me see. I would say one of the best cats, I would say was probably franchise Strick. Strick was a problem.
Yeah, Strick was my guy. What up, Los?
Yeah, Strick was a problem. Rest in peace, Strick. Like I said, Junie's on that list.
Right.
Somebody else who always gave me a problem on the court.
Bring the phone down. Bring the phone down so I just can't see.
Oh, pardon. My bad. Somebody else who gave me a problem on the court.
You say Conrad, right?
Yeah, I probably have to say McNasty, you know, because it was always, you know, with those 3 guys in particular, everything was left on the floor by the end of the game. Everything was blood, sweat. It was all left on the floor, you know, and I respected them for that. You know.
Yeah, we talked about Junie and Conrad's game. You know, I was watching something with Conrad, and it was actually on Steve Burke, and he said, I think he had like 20-something the first half, and then Conrad came, and Conrad was just dunking everything. He had about 19 dunks, right?
Everything.
And blocking everything out the park. And the last guy, the first guy, you said Junie, McNasty, and who was the first guy? Oh, Strick, right?
Strick.
Let me tell you something. This guy was so good under the basket, right? And you would look at him and think, oh, he's not going to dunk this. And he busted it right in your face.
Yep. Slow hops. He got them slow hops.
Oh, those crazy slow. He was just like, to me, he was just like the Carmelo Anthony of a big man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like aspect. Because it wasn't all that fast and quick. It was just like basic 1, 2, but guaranteed to score.
Yes, because his footwork was incredible down low. Both hands, you know, either box, it didn't matter.
Right.
Didn't matter.
Definitely.
Well,
yeah, and most of the times, a lot of the times, he always rest in peace, Strick.
Indeed, always finishes breakfast. Indeed,
that's right.
Dick Goody,
that's
what's
right.
up? Dick Goody, what's happening? Miss you, girl.
My partner, Stay Stem, he said, Biz, talk about Kelly and your chemistry and interactions on the court.
What Kelly? Which Kelly is referring to? Kelly Washington?
Yeah, I think so.
Kelly Washington was a funny guy. I met Kelly Washington playing in Soul in the Hole. He played with a team called the Regulators.
Yeah.
You know, bunch of old heads, cats out there in the park. Early, first game was at 12 o'clock. They probably out there 10:30, drinking, getting nice the whole day. They probably got the 3 or 4 o'clock game. So, with that being said, one of my first games against them, I slept on them because I'm watching these guys drink all day in the park. So I'm like, they're not possibly going to be able to even compete in this game.
Right.
Kelly Washington coming out there, tying up his shirt in a little bow like he do. And Kelly, that slow, bouncy game that he had, gave us the business, man. Gave us the bit and ran his mouth a little bit while he was doing it.
Yes, always. Always.
So, so that's another set of OGs that I learned from, the regulators. Him, Slick, and all those guys.
That's definitely for sure. Yo, Los, DM me, man. All right, need to get at you. Where did the name Half Man, Half Amazing come from, and who gave it to you?
That came from Rucker. It was given to me by Tango and Cash, Duke Tango and Al Cash, the mic men up there. That was maybe summer 93, summer 94, one of those summers. And maybe the second or third game, because up until that point, nobody really knew who I was.
Right.
They started knowing my name is Biz, so they were using that. But maybe the second or third game, we were on a break, and I was having a pretty good game up to that point. I got a pass on a fast break. This guy tried to take a charge. I jumped over him and dunked it. And Half Man, Half Amazing was born after that.
Wow, I never knew that.
Yeah. Yep. That's how I got the name.
How tall was the guy?
He was maybe about 6'7", something like that, maybe an inch taller than me. So it was pretty impressive.
To say myself, wow.
Yeah, I'm good.
That's crazy.
You see week 12. Yeah, that was and maybe for a few minutes after that, they kept saying the name. I didn't realize that they were talking about me.
Right.
Until the game was over and everybody coming to me, yo, Half Man, good game. I was like, oh, they were talking about me. You know what I'm saying? That's my name now. You know what I'm saying? So, to get a name from them, and I'll tell anybody, to me, I think that's the dopest basketball name anybody has ever had.
Right.
Not just being biased because it's my name. I just think it's the dopest name. For them to give me a name, because you don't just get a name. You can't just go up there and give yourself a name.
Right.
Whatever name you get up there, you earn. And it has to work even harder to keep it. So once I knew I had a name like that, it was a level I had to stay at in order to keep that reputation.
So they gave you that name because of what Vince Carter did?
No, when I got this name, Vince Carter was probably in junior high school.
I knew that. I just wanted you to say that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
oh yeah, of course, I have no problem saying that.
Right.
I'll say it again. When I got that name, Vince Carter was probably in his last year in junior high school, going into high school.
Now, how crazy is it that he grows up and does the same thing to somebody else?
Yeah. Now that you think about it, that is kind of crazy. Yeah.
Because when you mentioned to me, because I've never heard the story of how you got the name, right? But once you told me, the first thing that clicked into my mind was, oh shit, Vince Carter did the same thing.
Right. Yeah, that is kind of crazy.
Did you guys ever meet?
Never met. But I do have a story when I was working out I had a friend that was working out for the Toronto Raptors camp when Vince was up there.
Mm-hmm.
And my wife at the time, she had an uncle that lived in Canada. So she drove up to Canada to go see him. So I told my boy she was coming up there, let her come in the camp, let her come into the camp, maybe hang out a little bit, kick it, meet some of the players. So he said, cool. So, she got up there, she comes back home, and she tells me, she's like, babe, I saw him. I'm like, so who? She met Vince when she went up there to go see my homeboy while they were at practice.
Right.
And she stepped to him. She was like, you ain't the real half man, half amazing. My husband is the real half man, half amazing.
Wow.
So yeah, my wife at the time, we separated now.
Right.
She stepped to him.
She stepped to him. She stepped to him like Beyonce stepped to 50 for Jay. Hey, listen.
You understand?
You don't want no smoke, all right?
5'2". She ain't but 5 foot. She ain't but 5'2".
Right.
Mm-hmm. But she let him have it though. She gave it to him real quick, and he was like, you know what I'm saying? He backed off of me. He's like, hey, you know what I'm saying? I ain't want the name. They just gave it to me.
Right.
So yeah, that was real crazy right there.
Besides that dunk that you did over the guy who was 6'7", can you tell me about a move someone did that you saw that you thought was unreal? I know you've seen a lot of basketball.
Yeah. I'll tell you a move that I saw. The move didn't get finished, but it was one of the craziest moves I had ever seen. Well, actually, I'll give you two. One was a dribbling joint, and the other one was up at Rucker. It was main event. This was, when I first met main event. We want to break. He was running the break. He had the ball. He was coming up the right side of the court. And somebody came at him and you know how big Rucker Park is. You know how big that court is and how wide that court is up there. As soon as he got to half court, he bounced the ball from half court. And we running down the court. Now I'm running down the court looking like, what is he trying to do? He runs in a semicircle. He tried to bounce alley-oop it to himself from half court.
What?
He caught it, but he missed the dunk.
Wow.
And, it happened in a few seconds, but it looked like it took forever because I was trying to figure out what he was doing. People in the park were trying to figure out what he was doing until everybody looked down and we see Maine on the baseline looking up, about to go try to catch it. Went up and caught it, but it popped out. I said, this dude is crazy.
Wow.
This dude is crazy. I love him. This dude is crazy.
That's crazy.
And